With the Douglas Eagles and Coach Brandon Lyles starting his second year at his alma mater.
Yes, sir.
Coach, would you introduce the guys that are with you this morning and give us an outlook on the Douglas Eagles for this season?
Yes, sir. Over here to my left is Will Bishop, going to be a junior, plays O-line and D-line for us. Over here right beside me is Reagan Edmondson, going to be a senior, plays wide receiver and safety for us. To my right is Jonathan Fontaine, going to be a junior, plays running back and linebacker. And to his right is Jeremy Dobbs, going to be a senior, plays O-line and D-line. As far as going forward, we're very excited to get started. These kids have been working really, really hard in the offseason. Really, as soon as we got done with our last game, was able to get some momentum going forward in the weight room. And that's kind of where this whole thing has started. These young men knew they need to get stronger, and just seeing our just numbers go up from what they were last year has just been very impressive because these kids just grinded and worked every day. So we're very excited to get started.
Okay, Coach, you talk about numbers going up. I'm assuming you mean in the weight room, but talk about the numbers for the football team. Last year, I believe when we talked to you, I think you had like 2 seniors on the team or something.
Yes, sir. We had 2 seniors. When we started this spring, I had around 77 kids out. And then obviously when you go into a summer, you would love to keep that many out. But, you know, working hard every day, we've kind of dwindled down about 50 kids, 45 to 50 kids showing up. There may be some younger kids come back out when we start school. But, you know, as far as the ones that's been there, it's been a consistent group of kids. And not only, you know, last year, I think during the summer, I think we had on a great day was 15 to 20 kids. And wasn't a whole lot of practicing we could do other than just go lift. And we got a little bit of stuff as far as big picture stuff installed last year. But, you know, now we're working out and we're going out and practicing. We're able to do individual stuff with the coaching staff we have right now. And I'm very excited about, you know, what we're doing going forward. I think it's around 50, 55, somewhere around there. Like I said, we may have a few more come out when the school starts.
Coach, every year, it seems like I think coaches come out of one season and heading into the offseason with some questions about what's going to not only take place, but before even you step on the field, what questions might you have about this team moving forward? What have you maybe gotten answered? And what are you still looking for, not only out of these 4 guys that you've got here, but your team as well?
Yes, sir. I really wanted to see leadership going forward, and I know I feel like we've answered that throughout the offseason. Kids getting older, getting more mature, and just kind of learning how to be leaders. I think last year these kids were just trying to figure their way out. They were young. We were a young football team. Like Jeff said, we had 2 seniors that didn't get to play much, and so these kids were just trying to feel their way out. Going forward, I want to see how physical of a football team we can be. I feel like from a football mental side of it, we've gotten there. We understand what to do on both sides of the ball a little bit better. But I want to see when we put the pads on if we're going to be a physical football team, because you can win 7-on-7s. You can go out there and throw the football around, but when the pads come on, we're going to see who's going to be, you know, physical. So.
I'll ask the players. You got 4 guys up there. I know they're all leaders of the football team. Guys, have you seen a difference in the attitude? I want all 4 of you to answer this. Have you seen a difference in the attitude of your teammates? I know you got off to a great start last year. I think you won your first 3 and had everybody in Douglas excited. Then you fell into that tough regional schedule. And it takes work to get there, to get against that competition. Have you seen the other guys putting in the work and with you guys looking forward to the new season?
Well, this year, you know, last year we had a we want to win mentality going into the season, and this year I think a lot of guys are going into the season with a we can't lose mentality. That's one thing I've noticed that has changed, and I hope we keep that going up through into the season.
I can't really say much. My first year playing high school football, but I did go to every football game, so Like we would get down by a lot, people would like put their heads down, wouldn't pick it up. But there's leaders on the team now, so it's getting better. We getting there.
I feel like last year what hurt us a lot is we was so young. The mentality just wasn't there. We had a lot of freshmen playing on the offensive line, on the defensive side of the ball, and sophomores in the backfield and as a receiver group. But this year we've all kind of matured a lot. We've gotten the weight room. We've realized that you've got to hit the weight room just as much as you do practice on the field to be a strong football team. I feel like this year going in, we have a lot more leaders on the team. We have a lot more players stepping up, and we're going to surprise some teams this year.
I think that we have a better attitude than last year, and we're mentally there.
Coach, I know the guy sitting on, I guess, your left there was outstanding basketball player. I think he was all-state basketball player. How important is it to you to get a basketball player as outstanding as he is to play? And I know other kids are going to see him play, and hopefully they'll want to join the football team.
Well, obviously, you look at him, you can tell he's an outstanding athlete. We were very fortunate. You know, we went into it. My first couple of days, I went and tried to talk to the basketball kids because usually, you know, those are your athletes and stuff. I went and talked to them and tried to get a few of them out, and just stayed on them. And being able to get him out, you know, not just from a football standpoint, but just from a community standpoint, understanding that you can play more than one sport and be successful. And what I've been impressed with Reagan about more so than just his athletic ability is he shows up every day and he works just like everybody else does. He doesn't ask for any kind of special attention, and he's one of our harder workers. And it's been very impressive to see. And this kid's going to be successful in whatever sport he decides to do in the future.
Coach, a few years back, you're on the staff at Albertville under Cliff Mitchell. Fast forward a few years, he's on your staff helping out with the quarterbacks. At least that's what I'm told. As far as that goes, adding a guy like him with that kind of experience, how beneficial is that to this football team?
Oh, it's been unreal. It's funny how things kind of work out, you know, but I felt like we hit a home run, not just from a coaching staff standpoint, but from a community standpoint as far as getting Cliff back with us. Somebody that knows Douglas through and through, grew up there, played there. You know, and Cliff's not just your really good coach. You know, he is a great coach, but he's also one of the better men that I know, one of my best friends. But just as far as I feel like the kids love him, and I feel like the kids want to do good for him. He's always positive. He's always pushing these kids, but he has knowledge of the game. And, you know, he's going to help quarterbacks, but he's also really helping us a lot in the passing game stuff too. And, you know, that has made a difference. I felt like last year we were, I don't want to say one-dimensional to an extent, but with our wing tee type stuff we did, we were limited in our passing game. We've been able to expand on that a whole lot, and that's helping us, you know, just because at times we can't play in a phone booth. We're going to have to spread people out and get them out and still be able to run the football. I still want to run the football, but be able to take shots when we can. And Cliff has definitely helped us with that.
Coach, they mentioned earlier you guys got off to a good start last year and tapered off as the season went along, but it was with a young roster. How do you learn from that, both as coaches and players, and apply that to this year to hopefully get you guys over the hump in those games?
Yes, sir. I started 6 freshmen last year, and I don't know how many sophomores. There was a ton of them. I think we had, at the time, maybe 4 juniors that was contributing pretty heavily. So we started out 3-0, and, you know, people start wanting to pat you on the back, and I just kind of told them to hold on a second, you know, because our depth really hurt us going towards the back end of the season. You couldn't afford to lose anybody is where we were. And we can't afford to lose anybody now, but I feel like we have a lot more depth. Our freshman class that's coming in has been very successful, and they're going to provide depth. Plus, you upgrade being able to get 7 to 8 new kids that didn't play last year. I remember the Glencoe game we were playing, and we're going into the fourth quarter. We go into overtime, and I'm turning around to look to try to put somebody in on the D-line to give us a little more depth, and there's nobody else. So, you know, I think getting more depth is definitely helping us. Getting stronger in the weight room is definitely going to help us. So we're excited about this year for sure.
I got one more question for the players, and I usually ask this to all the players that come in. Coach picked you today to come to media day, to be before the media today, to be on the cameras. How important is that to you, and what does that mean to you to represent your football team?
Well, I'm glad that, Coach sees me as a leader and sees the rest of these guys as leaders. And I'm excited to see what we can do these next couple of years underneath his leadership. And, I'm excited to see what we can do these next couple of years with these guys coming up. And, I'm glad,
shows that we're the leaders of the football team. Guys look up to us. So there's not really much to say about it.
I'm kind of glad Coach picked us because we're four of the top guys on the team. Not gonna say we're the absolute best because there's some guys on the team that can really play that aren't here today. But I'm glad that Coach knows that when the going gets tough, we're gonna be on the field lifting people's heads up, telling them, hey, it's not over. It's one play. Go to the next play. So I'm really glad Coach chose us.
I feel honored that he chose me as a leader. I appreciate it.
Anybody with another question this morning for the Douglas Eagles? All right, Coach. Thanks a lot for coming. Thank you guys for coming with Coach this morning. I believe you're on the road at Weaver.
Yes, sir.
On the 20th to open up the season.
And we appreciate what you guys do. These last 2 years been unbelievable. I think as far as just exposure to these kids in our community and our program, it's been very beneficial to us. And yeah, as far as Weaver's concerned, they're going to be much improved. People want to talk, down about it a little bit, but we're going to have to be ready to play. And especially on the road, we talked about it actually yesterday. I don't know as far as road games, as far as Douglas is concerned, winning many road games in the last several years. So we're going to have to be ready to play up there.
Yeah, with a new coach down at Weaver too. All right, thanks a lot, Douglas Eagles. Good luck this year.
Thank you.